Welcome to Vital Signs Consulting, where we keep the finger on the pulse of your business to see how healthy and wealthy your business is. Special welcome to our worldwide Business Club members. We are Gerard and Kathleen Stoop, and we will be your coaches for today. As you can see, Kathleen is not in the studio with us today. She is joining us on Zoom. Just to give you an idea, I'm sitting in Perth in Western Australia, and she is in Brisbane, that's on the east coast of Australia, which is about a 5-hour flight. So she will joining us via Zoom, so thank goodness for technology.
Hi everybody, good to join you.
In this series, we want to achieve a balance between heart, mind, body and soul. Because business is not only about one thing, it's about a lot of things working together at the same time, 100% all of the time. And you are the business, so you need to be healthy as well. So in this series, we're going to talk about strategies. Every week, we're going to give you business tools. And if you take that week and implement it, you will see a change in your business. You will grow your business, you'll increase your profits, and definitely see the growth that you'll get. I do want to say that this is not a motivational series or motivational talk. It's about transformation. It is taking the information we give you every week and implementing it. So after 6-7 weeks, you will have a toolkit of strategies and tools that you can use. I would also recommend that you listen to this more than once. After 4 or 5 days, you go back and listen, you will hear something that you didn't hear the first time. So it is a recommendation that you listen to this recording more than once. So today we're going to talk about how you can get out of your own way to move forward. And we're going to talk about excuses today. J.T. Fox said that if it's meant to be, it's up to me. If we are full of excuses all the time, there's no ways that it will be up to me. It will be to my competition, my opposition, that will determine what's happening to me. So we have to stop with our excuses. And today is going to be all about excuses. And Kathleen, what is your opinion on excuses?
Thanks, Gerard. I'm usually coming from a brain-based point of view. And I think something that's important to understand here is that when we make a decision, we like to think that our brain is always working for us. But in reality, our brain sometimes works against us. So when we're making a decision, we'd like to think that we're making it with a single mind, but often there's a lot of conflict going on inside us, and fear always has the loudest voice. Brain research tells us that when we make a decision, we'll often make a decision with our emotions first, and then we'll go back and actually make up the reasons why we made that decision. And if there's anything that we're afraid of, we'll tend to come up with excuses. Our brain is extraordinarily good at coming up with a multitude of excuses. One of the things that we learned when we first started on the coaching journey from our coach Rosie was that we were going to have to learn to be very honest with ourselves. We were going to have to learn to identify excuses. And we really believed that we didn't have many until we learned what it was all about. So excuses often have a lot to do with convenience. We're very good at making our lives comfortable, and it challenges us when we have to move outside that comfort zone. So what we've done is we've taught ourselves a strategy to recognize when we've made excuses, because an excuse might make you feel good about yourself. It might take away pain. It might mean that you fool others, but excuses are never helpful in helping you to take action. All right. So when we come up with an excuse, we've taught ourselves to acknowledge what we're saying or the reason we're giving that we can't do something, by saying yes and then asking the question, and so I'll give you an example. A lot of the time we'll say, oh, we just don't have the time. We don't have the time, yes, and is there something we could do about it? I'm too old, I don't have the experience. Yes, And is there something you can do about it? And often by keeping asking those questions, you get down to what the actual core excuse is. So it's really important to start to recognize your excuses. And Gerard, you have a lovely strategy that you could add to that in terms of what to do when you recognize an excuse.
Thank you, Kathleen. So you gave us a strategy, and I want to give you a tool to help you. And this is a tool that I'm practicing for the last 15 years, and it's actually become part of my DNA, and it's called SOS, the International Call Sign for when you need help. So the first S is for stop, second one is for observe, and the S is for strategy. So when you feel that excuse coming on, is basically to stop yourself, observe, and then label what you're doing. Well, I am starting to make excuses again. And what is the question that I need to ask to move forward? And that is your strategy. So it's stop, observe, strategize. The more you practice this tool, the quicker your brain will kick in and start using the tool. The one thing I did realize about excuses while Kathleen was talking is that we all have this idea that, let's say, for example, I want to have muscles and I want a six-pack. But meaning I need to go to the gym twice a day, 2 hours at a time. I need to look at my eating habits, less alcohol if you're smoking, to stop smoking. And then the excuses start, well, this is hard, I don't have the time, it's going to cost me money. So we're all in love with the idea of success, but to get there is not always the nice thought. By doing this worldwide business club, okay, we will help you to overcome that, that we help you to start taking action, that you go through the process to get where you want to be. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that, Kathleen.
I would like to comment, because when I referred to Rosie earlier, when we started coaching with Rosie, she said, you're going to have to learn to be very honest with yourself. And we thought that that was a really strange comment, because most people would think that they're honest with themselves, but we really can sabotage ourselves. And what it comes down to is being honest with yourself about what you really want. If you want something very badly, you'll commit to it and you'll do whatever it takes to get that outcome. If you're kind of interested in something, you tend to do what's convenient. And sometimes getting a breakthrough in business is just being honest with yourself and admitting whether or not you're actually willing to do what it takes. Because as you were saying with the gym example, they're going to be reasonable sacrifices you're going to have to make if your goal is ready to have the ultimate beach body. You're going to have to put the time in the gym, which is going to be hard work. You're going to have to say no to eating things that you might really enjoy when you're out socially. You've got to be willing to put the work in. And if you're not willing to make those sacrifices, that's okay, but you have to be willing to admit that you're not going to put that effort in, and to own it, and then to set a different goal which you really can commit to. So being very honest with yourself, having very clear goals and being committed to them really means having to overcome excuses. Yeah. And in our experience, coaching has really been the cure to procrastination and excuses.
Good point, Kathleen. I think for us with our excuses, we need to manage that. We need to identify that. We all have 24 hours in a day. Richard Branson, successful people, me, you, we have 24 hours in a day. We do not have an excuse not to be successful. And because of all these excuses, Vital Signs just decided that we need to do something about the situation with all these excuses. And we are launching the Worldwide Business Club, where you will receive coaching once a week. We will give you business strategies, we'll give you business tools. We will have interviews with very successful people in the business world. We will do book reviews because the excuses I don't have time to read. So we will read a book and we will do a book review, and then you can download it. So for example, for the Business Club members, you will download a pledge, a 90-day pledge on excuses. You can download the SOS tool, and then you will be able to listen to Suzanne Keating, a psychologist, where we're going to talk about anxiety, because we make these excuses, nothing gets done, and anxiety kicks in. Thank you for listening, and the Worldwide Business Club members, stay tuned.